It's like your elevator pitch should be an introduction to a conversation,
Mm,
not a 10-second closing sales pitch.
yeah.
And I find often many of us try to close somebody in that short period of time. It's like,
Yeah.
okay, this is what I do. This is what I offer. How can I help you?
Welcome to the Other 99% podcast. I'm your host, Lisa Duck, a coffee-loving direct sales enthusiast who's obsessed with a good digital system. Come join me for a realistic look into the world of direct sales. We'll explore inspiring perspectives, learn about unique business tips, and celebrate success stories that often go untold. Because on the other 99%, every seller matters.
Hey everyone, it is me, Lisa, and welcome back to another episode of The Other 99%. I'm here with our co-host, Susan Larimer, and today we got a topic that, I think is really, really important for direct sellers. And you're probably going to be familiar with this term, or most of you should anyway, but it's coined as your elevator pitch. So we were talking actually before recording the episode, and we both got into it. Like, remember when we had trouble telling people what we did, right? Your elevator pitch is basically a quick introduction to who you are and what you do. Now, I don't know about you, but I find that many direct sellers, they try to oversell what they actually do. Because if I walked up to somebody and they were a kindergarten teacher, let's say, and I'm like, "Oh, so what do you do?" "Oh, I teach kindergarten." Super simple.
Yep. Everybody knows what
Proud.
that is.
Yeah, they're proud. It's not like, "Oh, I teach kindergarten. I work at this." Like, they're not trying to sell me on it, right? So as direct sellers, we need to come in with clarity, come in with confidence, and we need to say something to the person so that they're not saying, la, 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 I don't want to listen to you. Like, oh my goodness, you're going to try to sell me something and I don't want to be sold to, because most people hate being sold to.
Mhm.
So let's walk through sort of like why your elevator pitch matters, Susan.
Yeah, and just as we're going through this, put yourself in an elevator. When you're in an elevator, it's a very awkward situation. You're forced to be in this tiny little room with strangers. Sometimes people have awkward conversations, sometimes it's just silent. And if you're like me, every time someone asks, "Oh, what do you do?" I'm like deer in headlights. Like, I
Yeah.
don't know how to answer it. And when you don't know how to answer it clearly and confidently, it's even more awkward for the people in the elevator. So
Yeah.
when you're in an elevator, you have maybe like less than a minute to share what you do. And you're going to do this only if they ask, what do you do? You're not just going to blurt this out to everybody you see. But when someone says, what do you do? This is meant to give you tips and confidence to share what you do without, like Lisa said, you don't want people to be like, "Oh my gosh, she's going to sell to me. I got to get out."
Well,
Uh,
yeah, just think of it. It's like you wouldn't walk up to somebody that you just met and say, "Hi, my name is Lisa. I help busy people put quick and easy meals on their table. If you're anything like you just wouldn't do
no,
that. You would just
no.
like, "Hey, I'm Lisa," and then it's like, "Oh, okay." Carry on the conversation. "Oh, so what do you do for work?" Right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah,
So I mean, attention spans are super short. So you need to get it out in like one sentence. You don't want to overshare and you don't want to undershare. So that is super important.
and we got to remember that people will decide if they want to listen quickly. So if when you're asked, what do? You automatically respond, "Oh, I'm an epicure consultant." They're like, okay,
They
off.
have no idea what that means.
Yeah. Well, and even if they did, they're like, okay, well, she's going to try and sell me some spices here. And I don't want to buy spices right now. I was just being polite,
Yeah.
asking her what she did.
Yeah.
Right. So always, 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 we need to start with the benefit. Like, what are we doing? Like, what do we do to help people? Because we always say that direct sales, we're in it because we want to be of service to people,
Yeah.
right?
So
Yeah.
identify the problem that you solve. You want to connect with that person. So with Lisa, I provide simple meal solutions for busy moms. And then you're going to have that mom in the elevator be like, oh my gosh, every night I struggle with what's for dinner, the grocery shopping list and the meal planning. And that is a big, a big problem for many, many, many moms out there. So
Yeah.
immediately they're like, oh my gosh, tell me more. And that's
Yeah.
what you want. That's what you want from the conversation. When you give your elevator speech, if it's successful, they're going to say, I need your business card before I get off the elevator. Tell me more. If they're looking at you like, oh, that's nice, then you didn't do it right.
Well, I read this once. It's like your elevator pitch should be an introduction to a conversation,
Mm,
not a 10-second closing sales pitch.
yeah.
And I find often many of us try to close somebody in that short period of time. It's like,
Yeah.
okay, this is what I do. This is what I offer. How can I help you?
Yeah.
And it's
Or
like,
we
whoa.
overshare because we love our products and we can't understand why you don't even know about these products and you have to have them in your life. And by sharing too much, now the person's backing up into the corner, like, please get me off of this elevator.
Yeah. So let's jump into some of the biggest mistakes that we see.
Yes.
Yeah, this is going to be like eye-opening, I
Yeah,
think.
and I've been guilty of all of these. So you don't want to lead with the company name or the products. You want to lead, well, this is what we should do. We should lead with the problem, like we talked about before. And you don't want to sound apologetic. Like
Mm-hmm.
Lisa was saying before, like, oh, I'm a kindergarten teacher. Like, I'm so embarrassed. You want to be confident. If you're portraying like, oh, and I'm kind of embarrassed by what I do, then they're not gonna want more information.
Yeah. And I always like to make sure that like people don't really want to know what kind of like what product specifically you sell.
Yeah,
Like if I was talking about Epicure, I wouldn't say, "Oh, our 3 onion is the best." Like it's like, well, whatever. It's like, who cares about your 3 onion? Instead, you could say something like, "Have you ever like got tired of cutting onions and, your eyes are watering? Well, we have like this product that I just put tablespoons in and it takes the place of like a couple onions and it's like crazy, so easy, right?"
mhm,
Then they're like, "Oh, I don't want to cry cutting
yeah,
onions. Like, let me know more,"
yeah,
right? I think way too often we try to make our business sound like super impressive and because that's what the leaders, the top of the company, they're always saying. It's like, and we try to speak like they speak, but we're not pulling in the 6 figures that they're making maybe, and we have a little bit of a different viewpoint in our business. We are simply here trying to help people with the products, right? We're not
yeah,
trying to sell the dream.
yeah,
So just be cautious that you're using terminology that you would use.
yeah,
You're not trying to take your upline's elevator pitch and tweak it to make it your own. Be sincere on what you do and why you do it and how you can help people, right?
yeah,
And then there's those dreaded, I hate that jargon. You know,
yeah.
it's like,
It's
and
unnatural. It's
yeah,
awkward. It's not you.
yeah. If it doesn't bring value to the conversation, just leave it out,
Yeah.
right?
So, some core elements of what your 10-second elevator speech should include. First of all, is who you help. You always want the focus on the other person. Who do you help? So, with Lemongrass Spa, skincare products, it could be like, I help women in their 40s and 50s. Our skin is changing as we get older. We tend to notice things that we don't really like. And I help women find those simple skincare solutions without the Botox or the procedures or the harsh ingredients. So, talk about who you help, the problem you solve. I talked about the problem there. Our skin is changing. We don't always like what we see. And then the result or transformation. So, you might have more confidence with your new skincare routine. You're going to see improvements in the appearance of your skin. And those are things that you offer someone without mentioning the product at all.
Yeah. So my elevator pitch, like when I was like I'm still selling Epicure, but I'm not out there actively selling it, right? So, but when I was actively out there, I would say, I help busy people put quick meals on the table so that they don't have to spend all their free time in the kitchen, because I know I don't like doing that, right? So it was just simple. It's like who I help, what I help them with, and why it's important to work with me.
Yeah.
So
So that
we
simple formula. I help blank
Mhm.
with blank, the problem, so they can blank, the result.
Yeah. Now we have a couple of examples, so we're going to read these to you guys. So if we have a Sensi consultant and you're sort of fumbling with what to say, it could be something like, I help make their I I'm reading it. It's like, so it again, me
It's
reading
not
this,
Lisa, right.
it's not me, so it doesn't sound natural, right? So you could take some of this and tweak it so that it sounds like you. So I help people make their homes feel calmer and more inviting using simple fragrances without candles or complicated setups. Right. And why does this work? Because we're focusing on the feel and the experience. We're not using, oh, wax and warmer, because that's Scentsy jargon,
Yeah,
right? That not everybody will know what wax and warmer is, even though we think everybody knows about our business. They don't.
yeah.
And then it opens up the door for curiosity. They're like, well, how do you help that with, how can you help me?
Mhm.
And I'll let you
Lemon
do lemongrass.
Yeah,
Yeah.
lemongrass or skincare, and what I found was super helpful, if you're not sure what to say, go to ChatGPT. We love ChatGPT. And what I put in there is, you know, give me a 10-second elevator pitch. What is one or two sentences I can share with someone when they say, "What do you do for work?" And I said, I don't want to mention the name of my company. I don't want to mention any products, but I want to talk about a problem that I solve with mature, aging skin. The confidence that you have. You're like, I don't like the changes that are happening. And I tweaked it a little bit. I kept going back and forth with chat, but basically it says, a lot of women notice their skin changing as they get older and they feel unsure as to what the next step is and they want to do something about it. So I help them with a simple skincare routine. I teach them how to use products that bring their confidence back and really improve the appearance of their skin without invasive treatments, without Botox or harsh chemicals. And that's it. So you want people to be like, "Oh my gosh, like, every time I look in the mirror, I feel like I'm getting older and older. If you can help me with these fine lines and wrinkles and hyperpigmentation, like, I need more information." And the important thing too, after you give your elevator speech, stop talking. Silence on your end and allow them to react and respond or maybe ask a follow-up question. But it's super important to you to give your spiel and then pause.
Yeah, for sure. Now, if we go to somebody who is selling like Epicure, or here's an example of like somebody selling spices, it could be, I help people get quick, flavorful meals on the table using simple ingredients without relying on processed food. And they're like, okay, I need to take the processed food out of my life. Tell me more. Like, how do you do this? How is it so simple?
Yeah.
And then we
Um,
have Pampered Chef. Like,
for Chef, I help busy families make home cooking easier and less stressful, even on nights when time and energy are low. Why it works, you're connecting with those real life struggles. You're focusing on the outcomes, not the tools, and it feels very relatable and practical. You are really connecting with just about every mom out there.
yeah, and then I know we have like some people who are in the supplement world, and you could say something like this. I help people support their energy and overall wellness with simple routines, especially if you're tired of guessing what actually works.
Yeah.
You know? It's like
Sign
so
me up.
simple.
Yes, please.
Yeah, it's like, or at least give me some more information, because that's what you want to do. You want to be able to carry on the conversation,
Yeah.
not like, oh, I'm selling supplements that will make you lose weight, and
Right.
all those GLP-1s out there, they're no
Salesy,
good,
salesy,
and
alert,
mine's
alert.
so much better. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
like people are like, "Oh, okay, no, 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 no.
yeah,
I don't want to listen to you, right?" But
yeah.
if you're willing to like listen and feel like, "Oh, what do you have? What's going to help my energy? Let me hear more."
Yeah, it's funny because I was just in a book club with a couple of the ladies. We're reading, books about business, and we were all kind of um, commiserating together on perimenopause and hot flashes and brain fog. And I said, I started to feel like I was getting dementia. Like I just
Mhm.
could not think clearly. I was forgetting things. I couldn't focus. And so I found these supplements, and it's not with a direct sales company. I don't represent them. I get no kickbacks at all, but it's something that it's made in the USA. It is something that has really worked for me, and I gave a link, and I felt like I was selling them, but it felt good to be like, "I'm sharing this with you because it has helped me so much. You are going through the same thing that I am. I want to help you too. If I found relief with these products, I know you will too." And I was sharing it, and that's how we should always feel about
Yeah.
sharing our products. Like, even if
Yeah.
we had no kickbacks from it, no stake in the game, would you still share your products and believe in them that much that you could share them with that much confidence and enthusiasm? Like, you need these products. They have helped me. I know they're going to help you too. So that was an
Mm.
interesting way for me to be aware. Like, and I even said, I'm like, I don't get anything back in order. I get no kickbacks at all. I just want you to have these products.
Now, and this is a good conversation to think about, because how many times has somebody said, "Oh, do you know a good Greek restaurant, or do you know a good
Right.
Italian restaurant?" And you're like, "Oh yeah, like so and so down the street, like that they have amazing food." And we're like so happy to share
Yeah.
this information because we know it's going to be valuable for these people, because they need the information that we have, right?
Yeah.
But yet when we have our products, it's like that, almost like that shame. It's
Why
like that,
is that?
because I think it's the direct sales, that stigma. I really do think it's the stigma. And I think even though we try not to let it block us, I really do think that in the back of our heads,
Mhm.
it's like there are too many people that don't like direct sales. They think it's a
Yeah.
pyramid scheme. And, I don't really want to tell them that I'm in direct sales. Like, I see it on social media all the time.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. If you jump in and somebody's asking for, like, I've had people asking for recommendations for spices or seasonings that are gluten-free. Well, that's what Epicure is. That's what I can help with. And
Yeah.
then you jump in the comments and somebody goes, "Oh, that's one of those pyramid schemes." And it's like,
Oh.
but I'm just selling you product that you would typically go buy at Walmart, like, but better quality.
Yeah.
And, you're supporting a small business,
Yeah.
not a big corporate company. Like, you should be proud. Like, I'm
Yeah.
not there in your face, like trying to get you to sign up on my team. I just want to sell you some gluten-free products
Right.
to help you put those meals on the table that you want to, right?
Yeah.
But I think that's where we're too worried about. We're
Yeah.
too worried about that stigma. So this is where I think we need to come across as like, we really do need to be very proud of what we do.
Yeah.
And if you're not proud, this might come as a kick in the butt to some people, but if you're not proud of what you do and the products that you represent, maybe it's time to reconsider, is that product line really the product line you need to be with?
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
And there's no shame in leaving that and finding
Yeah.
something new.
Yeah.
Absolutely not. Because I did this when Epicure closed back last year. It's like I tried a couple different companies. I loved some of their products. I didn't love all of their products. So
Mhm.
I couldn't truly say like, "Hey, I'm a such and such consultant," or "I'm a this consultant," because to me, I wasn't, right? That
Yeah.
wasn't me. So I couldn't offer them the
Yeah.
value. Hey everyone, just a quick pause to thank today's sponsor, CinchShare. CinchShare is a social media scheduler designed for direct sellers and creators alike. It's your go-to tool for planning, scheduling, and simplifying social media right from your phone. Built to take away the overwhelm, it lets you upload your own content, use a ready-to-share library, schedule across multiple platforms, or post on the go using the CinchShare keyboard. Want to learn more about CinchShare or grab a free 30-day trial? Visit lisadoc.com/CinchShare. Now back to the episode.
Thing that always comes up, and Lisa and I talked about this a couple minutes ago, before we started recording, believing in the products, number one.
Mm-hmm.
So I think there's three things you have to believe in order to be able to share your elevator speech and your products confidently. You have to believe in the products. You have to be using the products.
Mm-hmm.
If they're consumable products like skincare, we have skincare. I use my soap, deodorant, shampoo. I mean, I'm using lemongrass products from head to toe.
And you're your best customer, right?
Right.
So it
You
makes
should
no
be.
sense. It
Yeah.
makes no sense for you not to sell it because you're
Right.
using so much of it. And
Yes.
then you find the value that you need to share it with people,
Yes.
right?
You have to believe in the products. You have to believe in the company. You have
Mm-hmm.
to believe in the owners. You have to have respect for them. I love the owners of Lemongrass Spa. I have full respect. They are full of integrity. You have to believe in the company and the home office staff. And then the last one, which is the hardest one for me, is you have to believe in yourself. And I think it goes back to what you said. Part of us are afraid to share that we're in direct sales, but part of me, and that's very hard for me to identify it, is I'm afraid that people will see my sharing the products as selfish because I make money on my sales.
Mm-hmm.
It's very hard for me to remember that I am Susan, I am your friend, but I am in a business.
Mm-hmm.
And I have once had someone ask me if I could share my discount with her. She wasn't a consultant. She's like, "Can I just use your discount?" And thankfully I thought quickly and I'm like, "Sure, but if you give me 25% of your next paycheck, like,
Yeah.
yeah, sure. Let's
So
trade
true.
paychecks." And
So
thankfully I
true.
thought about that, but for some reason, me personally, I don't know if anyone can relate, but I get caught up sharing because I don't want to make money off of my friends. And that's something that I need to deal with. So when I'm sharing my elevator speech or my spiel, even though I love the products, I believe in them, I love the company, believe in them, I'm always still a little hesitant to share because in the back of my mind, I'm like, "Oh, you're making money off of them." And that feels bad and it shouldn't.
No, and we need to compare our businesses to other businesses that we consider legit,
Yeah.
right? That are commissioned.
Yeah.
So I think right away, a car
Yeah.
salesperson, right?
Yeah.
A real estate agent.
Mhm.
They wouldn't turn away a friend because, oh, I don't want to make commission on your $1 million house that you're selling. Like, they're not going to say go away. Like, I can't do that. You're my friend.
Yeah.
They might give them a 1 or 2% discount, but they can on something not large, right? But
Yeah.
when you're saying it's like, yeah, we make 25%.
Mhm.
It's not fair for me to. You could sign up.
Yeah.
You want that discount.
Right.
It costs you this much, join,
Yeah.
and you can get your discount. Like, I won't stop you from doing that. I'll give you the information that you want.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can't give you the discount.
Yeah.
So I think, and I mean, there's so many commissioned
Well,
jobs
there's
out there.
markups on every Kohl's and Target, and everybody has markups because they're making money.
Yep.
So I don't know why I get stuck, but my point with the whole elevator speech is you have to believe in yourself
Mm-hmm.
because it's going to come across that you don't have the confidence or you don't believe in the products or whatever. It's going to come out in your message. And then you're missing the opportunity to provide that solution to the person who really needs it.
Mm-hmm.
So I got to get over it. I know it's a me problem, and if you can relate, then maybe we can work on this in another episode.
Well, and I think the one thing that we need to be or remember and is super important is that we need to be able to adjust that pitch It's still the same thing, but we need to be able to adjust it based on where we're using it,
Yeah.
right? And the pitch can't be a script. Don't script anything. This has to feel natural. But what you say in, say, like a in-person conversation is going to come across different than what you say in a DM,
Yeah.
right? It's going to come across different than what you would actually say at a networking event where it is more business focused,
Yeah.
right? Or even your elevator pitch. Do you have it in your social
Mhm.
bios? Like, what are you saying in there? Look at
Yeah.
it. When's the last time you audited it? Your social bios.
Yeah.
Like, does it say Epicure consultant? Like, because if it
Right.
does, people are probably scrolling,
Right.
right?
Right.
So, and for sure, make sure that it comes across human.
Yeah.
Because
And
can you imagine going into a DM and like connecting with somebody that you went to school with, say,
Mhm.
and they're like, "Oh, so what are you up to now?"
Girl.
I'm an Epicure consultant and I sell spices that are gluten-free and good for you. And there is
Block.
the ghost, right? It's like the ghost. It's like I posted that little ghost dancing like
Yeah.
this. I'm like, yeah, because that's what I see. It's like so many conversations, they just have that little ghost dancing along there because it's like, think about what you're saying. If you
Yeah.
can't say it confidently out loud and if it doesn't make you cringe, then maybe it's worth typing, but
Yeah.
don't try to sell in that first statement,
Yeah. And you
right?
have to practice it. And I mean, like, in front of a mirror, practicing it out loud while you're driving. I remember going to a vendor event early on with lemongrass, and I had just gone through a training with Gail Bates, and
Mhm.
she talked about your elevator speech and practicing it, and I had written it down. And I remember in the car the whole way there saying it over and over and over and over, so that when it came time for me to be at my table at the vendor event, it just flowed. I knew exactly what I was saying. It just flowed. I was confident, and I got much better reception from the message and with my products because I came across as a confident um, presenter presenting these products that can solve problems. So, and I just want to ask you, Lisa, like when you okay, because you talked about before, if someone says, "Hey, does anyone know of any gluten-free spices?" And as soon as you get in there, like you said, a lot of people were like, "Ugh, well, she sells it," so they just tune out. So, what's the best way to handle that? You have a solution, but how do you get that
Honestly,
message?
yeah, I don't really go because the people who are in there saying, "Oh, she's in one of those marketing things, like she's a network marketer."
Yeah.
They're going to be the ones who are going to be the loudest,
Yeah.
right? So I don't try to overcome that. I just simply post, say, if you're interested in seeing the spices that are available, send me a message and I'll happily share them. Like,
Yeah.
I'm very like calm and casual.
Yeah.
I don't need that person's sale that much that I need to cause conflict
Yeah.
around anything,
Or
right?
sometimes people just jump in there so fast, sharing links and, "Oh my gosh,
Mhm.
message me. Oh my gosh." And then you're, like, in this sea of competition
Yep. And
within.
that was one thing that I truly despised
Yeah.
when Epicure was in full force, because we had consultants all across. So, you go into your local Q&A groups or whatever on Facebook, and they're like, people specifically asking, is there an Epicure consultant
Yeah.
in town, right? And I would get tagged so many times, right?
Mhm.
And then I would go in and I would simply say, absolutely, I'm happy to help. If you want to connect, feel free to send me a DM,
Yeah.
because I knew that there were going to be 5, 10 Epicure consultants hitting them in a DM. How can
Yeah.
I help you? How can I help
Yeah.
you? But the funniest part that I used to get from this is that I see that post go up, I make my comment, and then 5 or 10 minutes later, I get a message from a consultant in the area. Hey, do you have this in stock?
Oh.
Because I know that you're trying to sell to this lady. Right? It's like,
That's hilarious.
no, I don't.
Wow.
Yeah, and it's like I always look at it as I don't need the sale that bad
Yeah.
that I have to fight for it.
And it goes back to that permission-based
Mhm.
selling. So
Yeah.
you're saying, "Hey, reach out to me if you want more information." You're not like, "Here's my link, shop now. We have a special offer. It expires the end of the day." No, 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 no.
No,
So,
and I don't know how many people I've had respond to me based on that because they're like me. They don't want to be sold to. And
yeah.
it's like, "Thank you so much. I was just wondering, do you have this or, do you have this available or when is your order going in?" I got so much business from
Mhm.
being of service
Yeah,
and not
yeah,
salesy,
yeah.
right?
Good point.
Yeah. So I mean, there's so many situations that we can think about where your elevator pitch and how you present your business will help you grow your business.
Mhm.
So just always make it natural.
Yeah,
And this is always what we're talking about, right? Don't try and be a script. Don't try and be salesy. Even when I'm talking about email marketing, it's like you don't always want to sell in your emails, right? You
yeah,
just want to tell them how you could be of service, who you are, what you do, and how you can help.
yeah.
So just think about it that way. But one thing I was going to say, I don't know. I've been diving into Instagram a little bit more and sort of what should be on your feed and all that stuff.
Mm,
So I was looking at a couple trainings where it says your first block on your feed um, should be or your what on your grid. It's not your feed. It's your grid on Instagram. So your first block should be like sort of like an intro of who you are and what you do,
mm,
right? I challenge you to record an elevator pitch that is of value, telling the people who have found your page who don't know who you are, what you do, and how you can help,
mm.
right? And pin that to your first section of your grid.
I was gonna say, you can pin it
You could
so
pin
it'll
them.
stay there. Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. So like make a reel
Yeah.
and then it's going to be shared out because it's a reel.
Mhm.
Facebook and Instagram love reels.
Yeah.
And then once you go in and create it, you could go to the dots or whatever and then there's the option to pin.
Okay, okay.
So like that should be the very first.
Yeah.
Um the first one there. So that's something that I'm challenging the listeners to do. I haven't told you yet, but I want us to get together on a recording and sort of do that for the podcast
Yeah.
for what we need to do. But that yeah, it's going to be so valuable. Even like this was years ago. I had that with Epicure. I sort of had a why Epicure, like
Mhm.
why I was doing what I was doing, right? So it was
Yeah.
just a little reel about me and what I did and how I helped.
Yep.
So that's something to do. But let's give them some action steps, what they could do after listening to this episode.
So I would encourage you to go back to that simple formula. So get out pen and paper, and here is your fill in the blank sentence. I help blank. Who do you help? I help blank with blank. What is the problem? So they can blank. What is the result? So fill in those blanks, the who, the problem, and the result. And
Hmm.
then maybe you can go on from there to expound. You don't want it to be long, but
No,
if
it
you
needs to
get
be
that
simple, like
base, that
super
one
simple.
sentence. What do you do for a living? I help blank with blank, and this is the result. So that's one thing
Yeah.
they can do.
And I'd love to hear your pitches. Like,
Yeah.
send it to us.
Yeah.
After this podcast airs, I'm going to drop a post on our social feeds and I'm going to say, share your elevator pitch with us. We want to hear what you do, who you
One
help, and what
sentence.
problems that you solve,
Yep.
right? And then, because I mean, I think it's going to be so valuable. Who knows? You might even get like a lead from the comments section. You just never know because it was so funny. I just did a post the other day on my Facebook page asking where I know people from, like what companies they're with. And I thought that I was going to have like groups of companies. And to my surprise, there's like listeners from companies like all over the very few duplicate companies.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wow, I didn't even know there were still this many direct sales companies. It's
Yeah.
amazing, right? So, yeah, you never know. You just might turn that sales pitch or that elevator pitch into a lead for
Yeah.
you. So,
And direct sellers love supporting other direct sellers. We get each
yeah,
other. So, what a great place to share your elevator pitch.
yeah. Well, I hope that you enjoyed this information. I know that it's stuff that you hear all the time. It's your company is probably telling you this, your upline's telling you this, but we just wanted to sort of break it down into a simple, easy to follow sentence like Susan just gave, because your elevator pitch should not be complicated, but it should be confident.
Yeah.
All right, everyone. Well, we appreciate you taking the time to join us on this week's episode of The Other 99%, and we will see you again next week. Take care, everyone. Bye.
That's a wrap for today's episode of The Other 99%. We just want to say thank you. It truly means the world to us that you're here. Lisa and I absolutely love creating these episodes for you, and we're so grateful to have you in our community. If you enjoyed today's conversation, be sure to like, share with a friend, leave a review, and subscribe so you never miss a new episode. We drop fresh content every Tuesday. Got thoughts, questions, or ideas? Leave us a comment. Want to be a guest on the show? We would love to chat with you. Apply by clicking the link in the show notes. Thanks again for spending time with us today, and we'll catch you on the next episode of The Other 99%.